What's the biggest concern and your biggest what makes you feel the most comfortable going into this fall camp? We can start off either the good or the bad with either concerned, or which one do you feel really comfortable heading into this fall camp about?
I feel the most comfortable with the way, as weird as this is going to sound, because we finished 5-7, the way last season ended for us. When we started the season 0-4, we just could have cut bait, said, you know what, we're done with this operation. Just finish the year 2-10, 3-9, call it a day. But I think there were a lot of games that we did fight. We stayed competitive. We beat a Miami team we had no business beating. We had a North Carolina team that really on paper we had no business beating. So, I mean, we got some quality wins. I think you could argue we beat a Boston College team that under the circumstances, I think that was a surprising win. I think we were equal in talent with them. But going on the road, I was happy with those wins. So I like the fight. I wish we hadn't given up that third quarter to Florida. Otherwise, I think we would have beat Florida. I think we would have gone to a bowl game. So I like the way that we ended the year, and it gives me a lot of confidence for the way this is going to go. My concern at this rate, and I've made fun of Miami for this, but I think we're guilty of the same thing in Florida State. We have a tendency, you look since the 2015 season, you look at losing to a Georgia Tech team that finished that year, I believe it was 3-9. We've lost to, losing last year to Jacksonville State. You're talking about losing to a Louisville team that had one win in 2020 by the time they played us. There's been a lot of losses that we have no business losing, and that's what concerns me. I think that we're going to lose several stupid games. There's going to be several games at the end of the year, whether we finish 6-6 or 8-4, that we're going to look and go, how the heck did we lose that game? The question is, let's say it's the Louisville game. Let's say it's the Boston College game. Let's say it's the Wake Forest game. It's not letting that snowball into the sky is falling, the season is over just because we lost one stupid game. So that's going to be my question. I know we're going to lose to Clemson. I think it's just so that's a given that we're going to lose to Clemson. I think we lose probably NC State, because I think NC State on the road, we can't play well in Raleigh. And I think NC State is probably, I would argue, the second best team right now in the Atlantic Division at this point. The question is going to be, if we lose a stupid game to a Georgia Tech, if we lose a stupid game to a Louisville, how do we avoid that snowballing when we lose? If we lose to Georgia Tech, and then the next week we play Miami. If we lose to Louisville, the next week we play Boston College. Are we as good or better than those teams? Yes, but we just cannot let it turn into an effect of, oh, here we go, the season's over.
Mm-hmm. I'd say probably thing I'm most worried about is probably the quarterback room. Outside of Jordan Travis, it's what really worries me, because I feel like Florida State, and I hope not. I hope not in October you're worried that you didn't bring in a transfer quarterback to be a true backup behind Jordan Travis. At least from what I saw in the spring, if Jordan Travis goes down and there's heavy past history of him doing that, you're worried about who you're putting there at QB2, in my opinion, after what we saw in the spring. I understand Tate Rodemaker has an arm. You see all the athletic attributes. He can throw it down there, but being a game manager, he was, thrown in there a little bit during the Florida game too. Being a game manager, we haven't seen that at all from him. We haven't seen him lead a team down the field. A lot of things kind of sporadic going on. Was Tate Rodemaker able to make that next step this fall camp? Because I didn't see him make that in the spring. And some people have their own opinions on that, but I truly didn't see much of a change from what we saw in the spring, from what we saw during the fall practices. That's the thing that I hope this Florida State staff isn't going to regret, of not grabbing someone in a transfer portal. If Jordan Travis can stay healthy, then you don't worry about that. But that's a really big risk that Mike Norvell, Coach Atkins, and the Florida State offensive staff are taking. It's a big risk. What I'm more comfortable about, and I wasn't this way going into the spring, I was really worried about the defensive end group after losing Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson. Right now, I feel extremely comfortable about Florida State's defense, but even more. And that's saying something about Adam Fuller, because I've given Fuller some heat here and there. I try to be more realistic than maybe others, but giving him some giving him a few things here and there on what we've seen on some Saturdays of interesting things being called and just the gameplay of that defensive side. But Jermaine Johnson being gone, Keir Thomas, you replace it now with Jared Verse and Derek McLendon. You got younger guys too. You've got Pat Payne. You've still got Dennis Briggs, although I think he's still more of an interior guy / outside. You can use him. But Florida State, found the answer there with Jared Verse. I think that's going to be it makes me feel a lot more comfortable about defensive end.
You also defended Adam Fuller after we lost to Jacksonville State, so we won't get there on that one with you for a moment.